Imagine waking up in the middle of the night. The house is silent, but as you walk to the kitchen, you find the fridge open, food on the counter. Or maybe your partner tells you that at 3 a.m., you walked into their room, had a full conversation, and then went back to bed with absolutely no memory of it happening. If this sounds familiar, you aren't alone, and you aren't crazy. You are experiencing one of the most bizarre glitches in human biology, sleepwalking, also known as somnambulism. For centuries, people thought this was supernatural spirits taking over the body, or the soul wandering while the flesh rested. But today, neuroscience tells us a different story. It's not magic. It's a timing error in your brain's operating system. In the next 10 minutes, we're going to decode exactly what happens inside your skull when you sleepwalk. Why does it happen mostly to kids? Is it genetic? And perhaps the most important question of all, if you see someone sleepwalking, should you wake them up or let them be? The answer might surprise you. Let's dive into the sleeping mind. First, let's clear up a massive misconception. Many people believe sleepwalkers are acting out their dreams. If you think that, you're actually thinking of REM sleep behavior disorder, which is different. True sleepwalking happens during non-REM sleep, specifically stage 3. Also known as deep slow-wave sleep, this is the deepest, most restorative phase of your sleep cycle, usually occurring in the first few hours after you drift off. During this time, your brain waves slow down dramatically. Your body is supposed to be paralyzed by stillness, your breathing is steady, and your awareness of the outside world is completely shut down. This is when your body repairs tissues and consolidates memories. Sleepwalking occurs, and the brain tries to exit this deep state, but fails to complete the transition. It's a partial arousal. Think of it like a computer trying to boot up. The hardware turns on, the motor centers switch on, but the software hasn't loaded yet. The parts of your brain responsible for logic, judgment, and memory are still offline. The result? Your body can walk, talk, eat, or even drive, while your conscious mind remains deeply asleep. To understand why this is so strange, we have to look at brain imaging. During a sleepwalking episode, scientists have observed that the frontal lobe, the CEO of your brain, responsible for decision-making and self-control, is largely inactive. It's dark. Meanwhile, the deeper regions of the brain tied to habit and motion are fully active. This explains two key things. First, the behavior. Sleepwalkers often perform routine tasks they know by heart, like making a sandwich or unlocking a door. Second, the amnesia. Because the hippocampus, the memory recorder, is also asleep, the brain never saves the file. When the person wakes up in the morning, that entire event simply doesn't exist in their memory. Scientists call this a disorder of arousal. The brain gets trapped halfway between sleep and wakefulness. It's a limbo state. The body is running on autopilot, guided by primitive instincts and muscle memory, while the higher consciousness is nowhere to be found. This is why sleepwalkers often have a glassy, vacant stare. They aren't seeing you. They are seeing a dreamlike hallucination mixed with reality. So, who is prone to this glitch? If you guess children, you're right. About 1 in 3 children will sleepwalk at least once. But here's the kicker. It often runs in families. Literally. Research shows that if one of your parents has a history of sleepwalking, your odds of doing it skyrocket. If both parents did it, the likelihood increases even more dramatically. Researchers believe certain inherited traits affect how easily your brain shifts between sleep stages. Some people are genetically wired to have a higher threshold for waking. Their brains resist full arousal. Instead of snapping awake instantly, undisturbed, they drift into the curious middle ground we talked about. These individuals also tend to spend more time in slow-wave deep sleep. For them, this tendency isn't a bug, it's built right into their neurological wiring. As the brain matures, usually by adolescence, these patterns stabilize, which is why most kids outgrow it. But for adults, it can persist, often triggered by external factors. Even if you have the genes, you usually need a trigger to set off an episode. Think of your brain as a delicate machine. Anything that disrupts deep sleep or forces a sudden arousal can cause the system to misfire. The biggest culprit? Sleep deprivation. When you are exhausted, your brain dives deeper into slow-wave sleep to recover. This makes the transition back to wakefulness harder and clumsier. Stress and anxiety act similarly, keeping the brain on edge. Then there's alcohol. While it helps you fall asleep, it fragments your sleep later in the night, causing those incomplete awakenings. And we can't forget sleep disorders, like sleep apnea. When breathing stops repeatedly, the brain jolts itself awake hundreds of times a night. Each jolt is an opportunity for the brain to get stuck in that half-awake state, triggering a sleepwalking episode. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. You've probably heard the warning: never wake a sleepwalker. They could die of a heart attack or go insane. That is a myth. Waking a sleepwalker will not kill them. However, it's still not the best idea. Remember, their frontal lobe is offline. If you suddenly shake them or shout, you are forcing their brain from deep sleep to full alertness in a split second. The result isn't a heart attack, but extreme confusion, disorientation, and fear. Because their reasoning skills aren't online yet, they might perceive you as a threat and react defensively. There have been cases where sleepwalkers, startled awake, have lashed out physically without realizing who they are hitting. So, what should you do? The safest approach is to gently guide them. Speak in a soft, calm voice. Don't try to reason with them. Just steer them away from stairs or sharp objects and guide them back to bed. They will likely settle back into deep sleep within minutes and remember nothing in the morning. Sleepwalking is part of a larger group of behaviors called parasomnias, where the lines between sleep and wakefulness blur. While it can be unsettling to witness, occasional sleepwalking is usually harmless. It's a testament to just how complex our sleep really is. Our brains are juggling rest, repair, memory consolidation, and bodily maintenance every single night. Sometimes, the wires cross. The systems fall slightly out of sync, and we take a midnight stroll. So, if you wake up to find the lights on or your shoes by the door, don't panic. It's just your brain working hard, even when you think it's turned off. Have you ever sleepwalked or witnessed it? Share your strangest stories in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the human mind. Sweet dreams. And stay safe tonight.